Do beer-based YouTubers make beer you'd want to drink? We're about to find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, today I'm taking a look at two beers brewed by beer-based YouTubers, the Lager Logs. That is Tom and Stu from the Lager Logs, good friends of this channel, and they have sent me two beers that they have brewed in collaboration with Stewart Brewing up in Scotland. It begs an interesting question. Do beer YouTubers really know what they're talking about? They didn't ask me to make this video, they just sent me the beer because they were pleased that they've made some, and I thought, you know what, that could be an interesting video. So, up here on the right, we have the Lager Logs presents a pint of brew from Tom and Stu, a 5% Pilsner brewed and bottled in Scotland at Stewart Brewing. It's quite a nice looking thing actually. It's got their main logo on the front there. If I spin it round, some info on that side. And then over here, there is a picture of the two of them, if we can just about make that out. Although it seems to be a picture of four of them, so they've multiplied, which is a concern for everyone involved. The other beer, however, that is also 5% on the nose. That was the first one, wasn't it? Yeah, both 5% on the nose. This one is the Lager Logs presents Scots Stag Brew, which I can only assume is why they went there and made this in the first place, as part of a stag do experience. An ESB and a lager feels very much like something the Lager Logs would want to create, so I'm going to go with they made that decision as well. Is there any more info on here though? Well, we don't want to read too much of it, we'll get into that in a second. But yes, visually, again, I mean, let's be honest, it's very photographic. I don't think they do well in a battle fridge with against other things, but given that we know, well, at least 2 of 4 of those faces on there, and I assume one of the 2 I don't know is somebody called Scott, yeah, we'll find out if they know what they're talking about. So then I'll put the ESB to the side. We're going to do the lager first, because that is the way. It should be the lighter flavoured of the 2. Both bottled. Are these bottle conditioned? Yes, I think they are. Does it say? I'm going to say yes, there's stuff floating in there. So I'm going to pour it as carefully as I can. Admittedly, these have been laying down in my fridge, which may not have been the best idea. So it's probably going to be a little hazy, but it looks like a lager. It's a very, very good start. So 5% lager from Stewart Brewing. Stewart Brewing, they're a funny one. Stewart Brewing are very capable of making some exceptional beers, and they also put a lot of dross into Aldi in my experience. So I'm hoping this is the non-price limited stuff, and it's actually pretty good. I like them as a brewery, as I say, super capable, just always a little bit wary of what I'm buying when I buy from them. But I'll be honest, conditioning on that, to say it's bottle conditioned, looks absolutely phenomenal. For a bottle conditioned lager, I'm not sure if it's coming across on screen, the carbonation rising there, tiny, tiny bubbles, and the head on it all look absolutely exceptional. How though does it smell? Little bit of a fruity yeast note in there, probably not a surprise given it's bottle conditioned, but most bottle conditioned beers, they have a certain character, a certain funk. I'm not going to say that this doesn't have it at all, but it's minor, it's very low, it smells very clean. I'm not getting much other than, as I say, a little bit of a kind of, it's almost orange zesty note from the yeast probably acting with the sugars in the bottle for the bottle conditioning, but I'm not getting any off tones, I'm not getting any maltiness or any real kind of, you know, refreshing hop either. I don't know what, I was going to say SARS hops, but I don't know what hops have gone into this lager. Of course, it could be any number of things. It smells of not a lot, which for a lager can be a good sign. So let's give it a go, shall we? Cheers. Okay. Now, the combination looked good. The beer looks good in the glass. The experience is, and again, because it's bottle conditioned, a little bit homebrewy, is what I'm going to say. But that's just the physical experience. It's the tactile nature of the carbonation in there, smaller bubbles. It's not been force carbed with CO2. But other than that, that's a tasty drop. That I'm getting flavours that I don't associate with a run-of-the-mill Pilsner. It was meant to be a Pilsner. Yeah. It's not got the bitterness of a proper Pilsner. It's not got the super refreshing, splashy, just, yeah, straight up cooling you down on a cold day thing that I would want from a proper Pilsner. But this is nice. It's a bit too sweet. It's got fruity notes. I'm going to be entirely honest, it reminds me of a beer that I made. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Mine was worse. Also, this is better than the beer that I made. But it's just, yeah, trying to make a Pilsner that's bottle conditioned, for some reason, never quite goes to plan. This is nice, it's soft, it's sweet, it is refreshing, but it's not just got quite that cutting edge. And I think if you rebranded that as a sweet golden ale or a zesty golden ale, I think it'd be on the money. But Pilsner, not quite there for me. Right then, on to the ESB. If there is a beer out of these two that's set to be very, very good with a bottle condition, it's going to be the ESB, which incidentally doesn't look very bottle conditioned. There is a tiny sheen of dead yeast on the bottom of the bottle, but it's absolutely clear looking through it. So this will be interesting. Visually, I don't know what it's looking like on camera, but for me, I'm starting to feel like it's the same beer in two different bottles, but let's have a look. Okay, no, it is different. The ESB doesn't have that bottle condition quasi homebrew funk that I was talking about. The aroma, because of the thick layer of foam on this, is a bit dull. But it's got some nice sweet caramel notes, a bit of red berry maybe, and yeah, I feel like there might be just a hint of crystal malt in here as well, which always makes for a great ESB. So let's give it a go. Cheers, Logologs. Thank you very much. Ooh. Oh. Okay. That is an experience. It's not what I was expecting, but what the beer looks like versus what it tastes like are completely different. That tastes almost exactly like a cherry Bakewell, which is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's absolutely abnormal for an ESB, but if they've made that just with raw, normal ingredients, you know, water, hops, yeast, malt, that is, I'm flummoxed. That absolutely tastes like a cherry Bakewell. I'm just going to come back to the lager for a minute. So, what we've learnt is, I need to be honest, I don't know the extent of the collaboration that took place here. As I say, I did this video without them knowing, so yeah, no info. But the lager is not really a lager in the true sense. It doesn't feel like it's been properly lagered, but as a refreshing, super pale, sessionable thing, it's pretty damn tasty, and I'm going to finish it with ease. The ESB is a flavour expression like no other. Again, we've seen cherry Bakewell in big, rich stouts and, you know, stuff like that, but it's additives. This, I don't think is, and I'll be honest, I don't like cherry Bakewells. Right, that's just a personal thing. It's kind of any kind of synthesized cherry, not my bag. But there are a couple of weird beers, and I think that comes down to the overall packaging. Something happens when you do small batch into bottles, bottle fermented, that just seems to express flavours you really weren't anticipating versus, you know, what Stewart Brewing normally do, where they'll brew a large batch and can it. I appreciate that that's not possible at this scale, but yeah, a couple of weird and wonderfuls. So, can beer YouTubers make some decent beer? Yes, but they might not make what they intended to. But to be honest, that is really all I've got to say about them. Before you do anything else, go over to the Lagerlog channel. It'll be linked somewhere up there and in the description. Go check them out. Say hello to the guys. They're a great bunch and do some very entertaining long form content. But yeah, this is an experience that I think they'll never forget, and I'm not sure I ever will either. But as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.